आज ही डाउटनेट ऐप डाउनलोड करें। डाउटनेट पर होगा अब आपके सभी मैथ्स, केमिस्ट्री, फिजिक्स और बायोलॉजी डाउट्स का सफाया। बस अपने क्वेश्चन की फोटो खींचो, उसे क्रॉप करो और तुरंत वीडियो सोल्यूशन पाओ। डाउनलोड नाउ।
If we talk about this question, in this question we are asked that how does butter in your food gets digested and absorbed in the body, right? So basically we discuss about the butter. So butter is basically a fat product, right? It consists of the fat which gets digested, right? Which gets digested in the small intestine. Right, so basically the liver, right, liver secretes a juice that's known as the liver secretes a digested juice basically known as the bile juice, right? So the bile juice basically contains some of the bile salts, right? Bile juice contains the bile salts that carry out the process of breaking down, right? It carries out the process of breaking down the large fat globules, right? It breaks down the flat globules into the small globules, right? Large fat globules into the smaller fat globules, right? Into the smaller fat globules, right? So basically these globules, they increase the surface area. So this breakdown of large fat globules into the smaller ones is done so as to increase the surface area for the action of lipase enzyme, right? So basically this breakdown process is known as the emulsification of fats, right? This process is basically known as the emulsification of fats. So after this, what happens is that the pancreatic lipase, right, the pancreas, right, in our body, pancreas also secrete a digestive juice. That's the pancreatic juice, right? That's the pancreatic juice, right? So the pancreatic juice contains the enzyme lipase, right? And the and also the intestinal juice secreted by the small intestine, right? Intestinal juice secreted by the small intestine, right? In that also lipase enzyme is present, right? So so the lipase present in the pancreatic juice and the lipase present in this intestinal juice, both of these lipase, what they do, they basically, right, they basically hydrolyzes the fat molecule, right? They hydrolyze the fat molecules into triglycerides, right? Into triglycerides, right? Diglycerides, right? Into triglycerides, diglycerides, right? Monoglycerides, right? Into monoglycerides, and ultimately into the glycerol, right? And ultimately into the glycerol. So basically, in simple words, if we understand this digestion process with the help of the equation, so basically fats are all fats are digested by the pancreatic lipase, right? The lipase present in the pancreatic juice, right? So the fats get digested into triglycerides, right? And into the diglycerides, right? And then these diglycerides and monoglycerides, they basically they are further digested by the intestinal lipase, right? And form the fatty acid and glycerol, right? They form the fatty acid and glycerol. So this was the complete procedure of digestion of fat. Now we'll understand how fats is absorbed, right? How fat is absorbed in the body. So we'll simply understand the process of absorption of fat. So basically fat absorption in our body is an active process, right? It's an active process. So in this, during the digestion, what happens is that the fats are hydrolyzed into fatty acid and the glycerol, right? So however, these fatty acid and glycerol, they both are water they are water insoluble, right? They are water insoluble, so they can't be directly absorbed by our blood. Hence, they first incorporate into the small droplets called micelles, and then they're transported into the villi of the intestinal mucosa. Right, so basically the absorption, if we discuss the absorption, right, then they are reformed into small microscopic particles which are called as the chylomicrons, right? So chylomicrons are the protein coated, they are basically the chylomicrons, right? They are basically the protein coated fat globules, right? They're transported to the lymph vessel in the villi, right? And then the absorbed from the lymph vessel, the absorbed food is finally released into the bloodstream, right? And from there they go to the each and every cell of the body. So basically the absorption of the fat takes place in the small intestine, right? In the small intestine. So this is the complete process of digestion and absorption of fats in our body, or the butter in our body, right?
क्लास 6 से 12 से लेके नीट IIT जेईई मेंस और एडवांस के लेवल तक 10 मिलियन से ज्यादा स्टूडेंट्स का भरोसा। आज ही डाउनलोड करें डाउटनेट ऐप या व्हाट्सएप कीजिए अपने डाउट्स 8400 400 400 पर।